Hello guys, welcome to our show. Today we discuss about evolution in SEO. Even more, we are going to cover topics related to occupation, SEO occupation, how to evolve from SEO manager to SEO product manager or anything else. Because today, jack of all trades, master of none, especially in SEO, you can't know everything. It's impossible to know everything. But if you have a great team, you can achieve great results. I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Vanda Pokecz. How are you?
I'm doing great. Super excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, big pleasure. Wanna learn more? I love to speak with specialists, people who know about SEO, who can share something new, their experience. Vanda, before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, anything that can help our listeners to learn more about you.
Sure. Maybe I can tell you a little bit about my journey, how I became Senior SEO Product Manager. Basically, I am in this position, as SEO Product Manager for maybe the last 1.5 years. And I am Senior for the last 1 year. Now, prior to that, I actually started my career in SEO about 4 years ago. And for the first few months, I was actually kind of in the outreach scene, so a little bit of like backlink building with a PR approach. So kind of started where I think many SEOs start out. But later, because I'm working for, a very big platform, basically, I was able to move in a little bit more analytical and technical topics. So like indexation, crawling management, and so on. So basically, I did for a long time a bit of a mix of on-page, off-page, and technical SEO for in-house. Actually, maybe mainly focusing on our Hungarian platform at the beginning. I am Hungarian originally, and that's why I was hired there. But this changed a lot in the last 1.5 years when we shook up things a little bit, and basically about 1.5 years ago, my team, including myself, we moved to the product and engineering department. Before, we were part of marketing, as I think often the case with SEO teams sitting there. And also, I am no longer tied to a market. I have to say, before becoming SEO product manager, I had a few touch points with, for example, developers and product owners, but not a lot, because it was also mainly the team leads from the SEO team back in the days who were kind of communicating with product and engineering. But during my first year, let's say, as SEO product manager, I had the chance to actually work in an interim role as interim product owner of our front-end team. And here I learned an awful lot about working with engineers, working with product owners, and this really helped me kind of achieve where I am today, where I'm driving multiple, product improvements. And yeah, so I'm happy to be here, both in the role and here chatting with you today.
Nice, love it. Love your experience. Awesome experience. Yeah, and I know that Hungarian it's very hard language. I mean, like complex language. I don't remember exactly the rating, but it's like in the first or second place of the most complex languages in the world. So yeah,
Yeah,
interesting about that.
not
Uh,
easy.
yeah. Okay, Vanda, you mentioned about PR. Let's talk about that because the last time I combined my link building, white-hat link building with PR campaigns. We use press releases to get these links, authoritative links, mentions, and we got mention on CNN a few days ago. That was good mention. We wrote great press release. And can you tell how this experience can help you with existing your position? I mean, like product manager, because I saw from personal experience when SEO specialists have background in journalism, they usually see in another angle. It's not like to have common checklist. They can feel it like how to satisfy user intent and help more. So can you tell how PR can help you in existing position?
Sure. I mean, That's a very interesting question. I would definitely say the communication aspect of it. So when I started again for the first few months, bear in mind, I didn't have a journalism background or anything. I was straight out of my master's degree in digital marketing. And I think the language and the digital marketing masters helped me to kind of land this role. Still, I think in that the first few months, I really improved my, communication skills from the perspective of how to talk to people that, first of all, I don't know, but I want something from them, or I am offering something to them, which I hope that they will want. And nowadays, when I am talking, with the product team or product owners or whatever, I also need to make sure that they understand that, what I am offering them, so to say, what I want them to do is also of benefit to them. So that's definitely one side of it. Otherwise, I have to say that as part of my role and in the SEO team for a while now, we actually are not doing sort of a PR outreach. The reason being that we actually shared this responsibility with our content team, where we have sitting colleagues who can give a little bit more care, as you said, really white hat, truly inspirational, helpful content. I have to say it's to kind of answer your question properly, it's definitely the communication aspect that helped me. And I think this will come back a few times during our discussion, how important communication and open communication is in my role.
Yeah, nice. Great. Okay, Vanda, let's talk about SEO management. Can you tell how to be successful in this position? Because, for example, many years ago, 12 years ago, when I started my online journey, I hired a few SEO specialists who, and all of them were responsible for almost everything: to write copy, to submit this copy, to draw pictures, even to buy backlinks, many years ago. Yeah, that worked well. Google changed the policy many times, updated. And today, we pay attention to white hat SEO. And today it's impossible to create content, to submit, to create design, to develop. Today we need to have a team, even more. For example, I had a team of copywriters in one time, but I fired all this team. Okay, Google helped me to fire this team, sorry guys, but today I cooperate with specialists who know the topic. For example, if we are going to cover about crypto, you need to have experience with crypto trading. If you want to create an article about weight loss, you need to have experience how to lose weight, how to teach people to lose weight. And can you tell how you handle the team of specialists to create great content and promote this content?
Yes, so sure. I mean, my role as an SEO product manager, and that depends on which components I'm working on. But one thing, for example, currently we are also looking into automatization of content. So I am working also on that type of content creation together with our content team, as you say, the specialists. And the way to handle it is, to be honest, my role is to provide consultancy based on data, based on my SEO knowledge. That means that, for example, I tell my content managers, hey, here is a list of URLs. This is this is the topic, what I need content for. And then our content managers are, of course, already trained in the basics, right, of having proper H1, H2 tags and so on. So, of course, in their onboarding, it's also important that they are knowledgeable on how to write content that is helpful for the user, but that also covers basic SEO needs. So in this case, it's a more consultational approach. In a product sort of work where I have a component, a feature, for example, which I am working on improving, I usually have a set product team. Now, this product team is usually made up of, myself, the product manager, than a UX designer, a UX researcher, if we are lucky, product owner and developers and so on. So that's a much closer collaboration in that sense. Then we are truly working as sort of a team who has maybe weekly meetings, etc. When it's about, for example, content creation, I am, as an SEO product manager, more in a consultant role and providing data.
Okay, let's talk about collecting the right data. You know, what I usually see when small companies copy big companies like Apple, like Amazon. And for example, if you open apple.com, you can see only iPhone, nothing else. You know, just iPhone with a few quotes like make difference. I don't remember exactly quotes, they can change them, but the main point that Apple knows, the audience knows about Apple iPhone from many blogs, reviews, so they don't need to submit a lot of data, information, but they only submit nice looking picture, a few quotes, and even more, you need to scroll and search on the website to find features. If I open Amazon page, any page, I can find almost everything from top funnel to bottom funnel, everything, you know, reviews, pictures, videos, text, anything about the product. And I'm interested how to find the balance between Amazon content that sells a billion products and Apple that sells a few products, but the audience knows these products. And I don't think that Apple needs to submit all this information because it might confuse more than help. But copy Amazon, it doesn't mean that it will work, because when you have a lot more information that customers need, it might confuse as well. That's why we have this bounce rate is high. So can you tell how to provide the right data? You mentioned a few times that you can help with submitting data, but how to choose important data and skip the rest?
Yeah. This is actually very interesting, because for one of my current works, we managed with experimentation to validate something, you know, which leads to good KPI improvements. But at the same time, we are very afraid of SEO implications, because we are afraid of cutting important information data, basically, from, you know, the user, which could lead to good rankings, etc. The way we go about it, we actually carried out, you know, research or data analysis on what are the most important type of information, because Ladenzeile is also a product comparison site, so it's a perfect example with Amazon, etc. We, for example, were able to identify that for us, gender, color is very important. Those URLs are performing better for us, for example, in the search engines. So it's all about identifying what is important for your users. So this is kind of the data aspect. And of course, you can use various tools for that, right? Like Search Console or external ones as well. That is one important aspect. Limited. Not everything can be important. And that's why it's also very important that you are well aware of your target market, right? You need to make sure what is important for your target market. Another aspect is actually qualitative data, talking to your users, doing surveys, doing interviews, you know, not just data analysis, or doing a competitor research. This is all going a little bit under product discovery, which is a very new focus in SEO SEO Product Manager. So it comes down to qualitative and quantitative data, like kind of pick your fighter. I think doing both is best.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about creating the right content with qualitative data. For example, I mentioned about Apple. Let's keep explaining about Apple. When Tim Cook shared on presentation about new Apple Watch, yeah, after that, I bought 3 pairs for me, for my son, for my wife, because these guys can kill me, you know, if I buy only for myself. But anyway, you know, I bought this Apple Watch because of getting the feeling that this gadget can help me, can support me, can simplify my life, can decide my problems, many things. And Tim Cook didn't share features of this Apple Watch. He shared 3 stories how Apple Watch can decide problems of different people. So, and I got this feeling I need to have this gadget. I wanna have the same experience. And what I usually see when companies submit a lot of features, but your competitors might have the same features, and it doesn't create this feeling of owning or having something. Can you tell how to use quality data but create descriptions, text, or any information that can create the feeling of owning some products?
Of owning them, or
Yeah, having them,
yeah.
owning, I mean, like anything.
Yeah. I mean, I do have to say that I think we still need to work on. We're not on the level of Apple yet, so we also need to work on that. But I think, again, the most important, and you said it yourself very well. It's you have the feeling it solves a problem for you. We need to understand what a product is supposed to do. Is like it doesn't make sense to just list a bunch of features if it's actually supposed to give a feeling of belonging, for example, to someone, a social belonging, for example. So we need to see, are we like targeting sort of a functional need? Are we targeting a sort of emotional need? And of course, we need to shape to that. To understand that, of course, we maybe need to talk partly to users. Partly it's about branding a little bit as well, right? Which is not really an SEO thing, but we need to understand what we want our product to convey. But I think the most important is to understand like the actual problem we are trying to solve, which doesn't always need to be a problem, to be honest. It's not necessarily that you have a problem because you broke your watch and now you need a new one. It can be just that, it's a nice to have, but the main thing is that to truly understand what we want our products to, convey or to stand for, and secondly, what the users' needs are.
Okay, I wanna ask about satisfying human being and search engines. It's interesting that many years ago I didn't think to satisfy users because we created content for search engines. Google ranked well, we sold a lot of products, but the main reason because competition was low. Today it's not the same. For example, when we paid 5-10 cents per click, today we pay like $5-10 per click, 100 times more. It's not because Google or Facebook decided to increase the price, because competitors are willing to pay this money. So we need to find another way or to pay this money to sell products. I'm interested about how to create content that can help users but satisfy search engines, because I often see when someone can share, you need to think about human being, forget about search engines. I don't know if it works. Probably for someone, but I think if you think about both, you can get much better results. Can you tell how to do it?
Sure. I mean, of course, this, I can't tell you how you can do it. However, I think the most important part is to understand that the search engine is also focusing on providing the best results to the user. So this is why also we really need to focus on, if we are providing the best possible content to the user, then this should trickle down and automatically we should technically perform better, or in theory on the SERPs. Now, nevertheless, of course, it doesn't mean that we should just push out, flowery 5,000 words essays about something that is not helpful to the search engine or the user. We need to really target the market as well as the problem. However, we still need to, I agree with you, we need to kind of adhere to both. So first of all, we need to make sure, of course, that we are sending the right signal. So we set up properly metadata, schema, header tags, whatever there is, to provide more information to the bot. Because we have to keep in mind, for an SEO product manager, the search engine bots are also users. That's why I don't say our users or bots. I say our human users or bots or so on. So yeah, sure, we need to keep to these basics, but we at the same time also need to make sure that if, for example, we are a product comparison site, then we are actually helping users in their buyer journey in comparing products with the content that we provide.
Vanda, I want to ask about one aspect that it's hard to ignore today. That was simple yesterday, hard today, impossible tomorrow, about AI. Today I can ask ChatGPT to write description about any product and I can get it for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And once I spoke with Jeff Coyle. He's co-founder of Market News, one of the best software as a service products in AI. And he told me, in the future, we will have 3 companies. The first company will develop AI. The second company will implement AI. And the third company will be obsolete. So I think I agree. We need to implement or develop. I don't know how to develop. That's why I usually implement. But I want to ask you, how you use ChatGPT or any other AI tool today to help you with creating great and high quality content?
Very good question. I actually got crazy about ChatGPT relatively recently. Maybe I was already a little bit late to the train, but I have to say that, to be honest, I am using ChatGPT mostly to help with my analysis, for example. Like, it's amazing for providing me with complex formulas and stuff that I would research for hours. And we are also working with another AI tool. So the problem with ChatGPT for content creation for such a large platform as ours is that I do think it's a little bit difficult to scale. Although there might already be other, ChatGPT powered tools which are able to also help with the scaling. So we are actually working testing currently out another provider sort of, which allows us to just push in a bunch of data based on, a certain setup that we planned, and it's actually able to scale content for us. So this is definitely something that is very difficult for us currently to figure out, honestly, because for what we needed, which is like product descriptions, we need to provide very specific data. It's not enough to say, please create content about red dresses, So for such a large platforms like usually e-commerce sites can be, it's still difficult to scale. But I think with the development, it's going to be very, very soon that we are able to do that seamlessly, to be honest.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think it takes time to adapt any technology, including ChatGPT. And you mentioned that you have a big platform, a lot of pages. Can you tell how to manage many pages? When I'm responsible for 10, 20 pages, for me, even having this amount of pages, hard, because I need to, for example, I usually write a new article like a few weeks, because I have many other things to do it takes time to research, to analyze, to spend time. But when you are talking about more than 20 pages, for me, it's impossible. So tell me about your experience, how to do it.
More than 20, yeah, more like in the millions, but
No way.
This is, what happens, but it's interesting also to know that not all of our millions of URLs are actually on index. And that is because we are managing that aspect with our very own kind of process. We like to call it our Coca-Cola recipe. One thing is that we need to keep control over the number of URLs we are actually showing to users, to make sure that they are really quality content. What quality means for you will depend on you, and you need to choose your KPIs, bounce rate, whatever you want. But that's the first thing. Secondly, when it comes to, for example, content creation, where we are currently actually wanting to create more content on our pages, this is where it comes to what you also mentioned, I think, at the beginning, one SEO cannot do everything. This is where
Yeah.
teamwork comes in. So I do this part. I do, for example, I provide you with the data, then content, create some content manually, some of it hopefully in the future automated. But automation is a big point anyway for such a large platform. Like, we are constantly working with our developers when it comes to, for example, internal linking as well. We cannot have we have very minimal manual efforts, because it's just impossible on such a large scale. We need build solutions.
Yeah, I think automation is very important, especially about internal linking. Actually, I found WordPress plugin a few days ago that can help a lot with that. So, because we usually share the task to copywriters to create this interlinking, but this plugin is amazing. I'll submit this plugin in the description below. So that's good plugin. And Vanda, I want to ask you about one element of content that I feel it's more important than any other: writing, texting, because Google scans text, and if you can't write great text, other elements, design, pictures, photos, videos can't help. So you need to have this high quality text. Can you tell, for example, if you check out writing for your product pages, where you usually pay more attention? What kind of writing you can accept from your writers, and or probably you can share your brief or explanation to them. What kind of writing are you expecting to get?
Mm-hmm. Yes, right now, actually, because we kind of changed our brand focus a little bit in the past year or so as well, and we really want to be this kind of shopping advisor to users. So that's definitely one thing. Like, we have a bunch of content we are actually currently either removing or planning to rework, because they are very obviously created for the search engine. They are short, they are like just a general description about red dresses, but nothing special that is actually providing real information, useful information to the user. So it's literally that, like, have a certain word count, for example, of course. Make sure that it is actually helping the user compare or find what they are looking for. We like to say, find their favorites. And of course, still, for example, H2s. So in certain pages, URLs where we have write contents, like on our category pages, for example, we already have a H1 that is basically the title of this category page. So often there are synonyms or other, very highly closely relevant keywords, which we just cannot include in the H1. So we need it in a H2. But if we don't have content, or H2s, but if we don't have content, it's very difficult. So that's our basically our three things, kind of. Make sure it is actually useful for the user, include proper keywords. Still, it's very important. It's still not gone, even though we are moving more towards intent. And like, have like a proper kind of structure and length, basically.
I'm interested how you handle duplicate content. If you have a lot of pages, I think you have a lot of such pages. So how your solutions, how to decide this issue?
Yeah, it's actually a bit of a issue for us. We are managing, we have it under control, but it's actually a bit of a problem, because we have, you can imagine, on an e-commerce site, we have, for example, certain like styles, which may be like dresses, let's say leather dresses, but we also have a filter for leather. So I don't know, dresses in leather. So this is exactly where the duplicate content issue comes in. Currently, we are managing it in a way that we actually just do not allow certain filters to be indexed. But this is not a sustainable solution or something that we want to keep. We are kind of in a transformation right now, moving to the cloud and so on, and we are hoping that actually this issue will be solved. On the other hand, we, of course, also have canonicalization in place as well, but that's also automatized for us based on tied to sort of our indexation management logic.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's hard to reply with the same solution for all each cases.
It's
Yeah,
very
we need to
platform
find.
relevant. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Vanda. uh, I'm interested about common mistakes. In my life, I made a lot of mistakes. I keep doing them, but I learn from them. I remember when Shaquille O'Neal said about mistakes, he doesn't feel that mistakes are mistakes. He can feel it's like a part of learning, because when he starts something new, he usually fail. And I fail, Shaquille O'Neal fails, everyone can fail, because we don't know how it works in the beginning, because we start from best practices, generic strategies, then we can adapt, go ahead, find something that will work for us. So, Vanda, can you list mistakes that webmasters still do, and your tips how to avoid them and find something else?
Sure. I really liked what you said. It's all about failing fast. One mistake I make is that I am a bit of a perfectionist, so I probably don't fail fast enough sometimes, but I do certainly fail. I'm trying to think of my recent sort of projects, and there was definitely a sort of transition period as I became, SEO product manager, and started driving these kind of bigger product improvement works. And for example, one problem for me in my current component was that it was not only me, but another SEO product manager. We had a shared ownership at the beginning about this project, which led to actually the whole product team not having an idea who is the real leader in this team, who is leading this. And this was very, very painful actually for a bit, because I could feel that the team is not happy, the progress is not being made that fast, and so on. Later, the way we solved it, we actually realized, okay, this is shared ownership is not working in this case. There are cases where it does work. So I became the lead of this product team and started crazy, planning, having a project plan in place, roles and responsibilities defined, communication plan defined, expectations, and so on. And not in a micromanagement way, in a way that also the rest of the team could approve it, then we all agreed upon it, and after everybody needs to hold themselves to it. So then it becomes a different type of shared ownership, which then took a lot of pressure off my shoulders, for example, that everybody was working towards a common goal, which leads me to another sort of fail. Basically not defining, as an SEO product manager or product manager, or in general, not defining your problem, not understanding what you are working towards. I had this recently, and we had a common goal in the team of what we are working towards, of course, but it took a while for us to actually on paper define a problem statement, which meant I got an awful lot of stakeholder questioning, which was like, okay, we need to figure this out. So at the end, we just needed to sit back down together, have a clear problem definition. There are so many good frameworks out there that you can also use to help you formulate. And then share it with all the stakeholders. And this project plan I told you about as well, and all the right documentation is definitely needed. It's good to be organized while staying agile, of course.
Nice. Love it. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think it's important to have the right communication, to explain in simple way, to transfer data that people understand, because I often see this issue when hard explanation can confuse and people just ignore, and the process stays in one place. Okay, Vanda, let's talk about pressure. You mentioned that you have this pressure on your shoulder. I'm interested about that, because I think everyone has any pressure, but we need to overcome it, to go ahead, and tell your methods, how to stay positive, how to have the smile that you have right now, smiling all the time. And interested about that, because the last time I started to learn more about mentality, about longevity, about many other things. Because I think if your job is not enjoying, if you don't enjoy the process, it's better to find another job, because we have one life, and just suffer all the time, it's not a good solution. I think so, because once I started the project, because of chasing money, I felt that I could earn a lot of money with this project. I invested my resources. I hired a team of specialists. 3 years. 3 years I hated Monday and loved Friday. Then I quit. I gave up. I told never, never, I will never take any project if I suffer, if I don't enjoy the process. So tell about how you overcome pressure on your shoulders.
I mean, it's cliche, but I think it's important that you are doing something that you are truly passionate about, and that you have a feeling of ownership over. I am a person who thrives off of feedback as well. Like, luckily, a lot of positive feedback comes in my way, but I also really enjoy, a learning opportunity. So, for example, I think if I reached a wall where I felt like in my role or in my project I am not able to grow further, for me that would be a big no. So I need to make sure that I am constantly in an environment, and I try to do this by getting involved in more than one thing. I am in an experimentation task force, which is out of my team, and I am on multiple projects. I'm trying to be always in an environment where I have an aspect of growing. Another thing is about surrounding with yourself with people, who I also enjoy supporting people. So for me, it's not about people who support me, but also people that I can support. And this is why I really enjoy now this sort of lateral leadership role, which is what product management is. You're always working with a team, and you can, share the successes with people. So this is, of course, all very personal to me, but I love, being surrounded by a good team, continuously learning. The SEO industry is anyway extremely good if you like to be part of a community, especially since I am going a little bit on conferences and stuff. I realize, wow, it's such great people and so many learning opportunities, and it's really something that kind of creates this passion in me for my job. Now, if this passion would be gone, that would be a little bit of a different question.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. I couldn't agree more. You need to have passion. Yeah, it's like, for example, I love playing basketball. I love basketball. I can spend time, a lot of time on basketball, and I'm not waiting when someone will pay money for my passion. Yeah, and I think it's the same issue we need to have with our jobs. You need to love it. If you, it's not about money. It's about loving the process. Money will come. If you passion, then you can overwork your competitors, and money will come in the end. Absolutely. Okay, Vanda. I found that I usually get great results with clients who understand SEO. If they understand, then we can cooperate like a cohesive team. But if they don't, usually tell them, take my course, learn from Lily Ray, Jeff Coyle, Alex Makura, Mike Phillips, Chelsea Alves, Bernard Huang, many great experts. It costs like $20, not a lot. Or go to Google, YouTube, it doesn't matter. Just find knowledge and learn, understand the basic. Then we can cooperate like a cohesive team. We can understand each other, why we need to create high quality content, why it's important to have a website speed, why we need to use white hat SEO. Let's imagine if you started today from scratch without any experience, knowledge, skills, it's your first day in SEO. What will you do to learn more about SEO?
It's difficult because do I have the current knowledge about the resources? Well, what I really love learning from is podcasts, for example. Actually, I feel it's so digestible. Yes, I would definitely take a small course for sure, like go to Udemy or whatever. I don't know other courses. Definitely do a small course if this is what I wanted to get into. But I would definitely also just listen to the industry things. Like I learned so much from just going to the grocery store and listening to podcasts in my ear, interesting things that I actually wouldn't really find in Google or because I'm not searching for that specifically. I don't know what they are going to talk about. So yes, we'll definitely start with a little course, but after I would immerse myself as much as I can. And I have to say, there's also like a super cool community called Women in Tech SEO, and I'm also a part of that since a few months. And I've been also able to really ask questions there. And there's a lot of people who are new to the SEO industry or who just want to, kind of get into it. So communities, podcasts, and some course. That would be a mix probably.
Yeah, nice. I usually tell to anyone, find your loving format. It doesn't matter what kind of format you have. Books, podcasts, YouTube videos. For example, Ferry Kazoni told me he enjoys watching videos. Today he has this huge PR agency in the UK. Someone can tell books are the best. Okay, if it works for you, just learn. But learn it and act, because you can learn, but if you do nothing, you get nothing. If you feel that, I see when best practices, you need to read blog posts. If you don't like this format, skip it. You can find other great formats. Don't create this pressure, because it's hard to remember what you learned. And Vanda, my last question about the future. Once Jeff Bezos said that Amazon will be bankrupt in one day, but today we need to procrastinate this process, he told to his team. And I often see when specialists can tell SEO will never be dead. I disagree. I think everything has the end, including SEO. But it takes time. It takes time. And marketers on TV and radio didn't lose their jobs. They adapted to digital. I think if you have the right knowledge in SEO, it's not only how to get ranking positions. It's more about how to create high quality content, how to increase website speed, how to earn links that bring traffic as well. Because if you care only about backlinks to satisfy Google, it's not working. But if you think that you can create brand awareness to get relevant traffic, it works. So, Vanda, take your crystal ball and tell the future of SEO in 5-10 years.
Mm-hmm. I do think that actually this product-led direction is the future, because if you start really looking to satisfying your users and not the search engine, then you will find a way to figure out how to play along with the new SERP landscape, so to say, or whether maybe it will not even be Google in 10 years. Maybe it will be a totally new, landscape. We don't know. But exactly as you said, if you know how to deal with different things, content, whatever, and you are focusing on your user, then you will adapt. And I agree with you. I don't think that SEO as a role, as it is currently, like with many other roles, will be exactly the same in 15 years. I don't think that. But I think that SEOs are professionals who are able to adapt very well, who are very knowledge seeking, and I don't have a fear about, losing jobs.
Okay, nice, Vanda. It's a big pleasure to get on my show, to learn from you. I love your experience, your valuable insights, your positive mindset. So tell our audience the best way how to keep learning from you, how to follow you, how to reach out to you.
You can. I think LinkedIn and Twitter is the best way. You can reach out to me. On LinkedIn you find me as Vanda Pokecz, on Twitter as Vanda_Lilla. Just reach out to me. I'm always super happy to respond to a message or whatever. Totally open to that. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, guys, you can find the links to LinkedIn, Twitter account in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again for your time. Love it. So valuable. Welcome back anytime to share more valuable insights, because my audience cares only about value, and you know how to share value. Okay, guys, thanks a lot for listening and watching us.
Thank you.